Canadian Senate passes weed bill but legalization delayed. File. This April 6, 2018 file photo shows the leaves of a marijuana plant inside Ultra Health's cultivation greenhouse in Bernalillo, NM. A state district judge has ruled that New Mexico health officials went beyond the scope of the law when they sanctioned the licensed medical marijuana producer for displaying a marijuana plant at the 2016 state fair. The health department initially ordered Ultra Health to close for 5 straight days during a period that included April 20th, the busiest day of the year for cannabis sales. AP photo, Susan Montoya Bryan. File, Toronto, AP. Canada's Senate gave final passage Tuesday to the federal government's bill to legalize cannabis, though Canadians will have to wait at least a couple of months to legally buy marijuana as their country becomes the second in the world to make pot legal nationwide. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's government had hoped to make pot legal by July 1, but the government has said provincial and territorial governments will need 8 to 12 weeks following Senate passage and royal assent to prepare for retail sales. Trudeau's government is expected to decide a date that would legalize it in early or mid-September. It's been too easy for our kids to get marijuana, and for criminals to reap the profits. Today, we changed that. Our plan to legalize. Canada is following the lead of Uruguay in allowing a nationwide, legal marijuana market, although each Canadian province is working up its own rules for pot sales. The federal government and the provinces also still need to publish regulations that will govern the cannabis trade. The bill passed in the Senate by a vote of 52 to 29. We have seen in the Senate tonight a historic vote that ends 90 years of prohibition of cannabis in this country, 90 years of needless criminalization, 90 years of a just-say-no approach to drugs that hasn't worked, said Independent Sen. Tony Dean, who sponsored the bill in the upper house. Canada is the largest developed country to end a nationwide prohibition on marijuana use. In the neighboring U.S., 9 states and the District of Columbia have legalized marijuana. California, home to 1 in 8 Americans, launched the United States' biggest legal marijuana marketplace on Jan. Justice Minister Jody Wilson-Raybould tweeted that it was a historic milestone for progressive policy in Canada as we shift our approach to cannabis. Health Minister Jeanette Petitpas-Taylor tweeted she was thrilled that the Senate approved the bill. We are on the cusp of a sensible, responsible and equitable cannabis policy, she said. The Canadian government largely followed the advice of a marijuana task force headed by former Liberal Health Minister Anne McClellan as well as the advice of former Toronto Police Chief Bill Blair, who is the parliamentary secretary to the Justice Minister. The task force recommended adults be allowed to carry up to 30 grams of pot and grow up to 4 plants. It also said marijuana should not be sold in the same location as alcohol or tobacco. The most controversial aspect of Canada's move to legalize marijuana nationwide has been setting the minimum age for use at 18 or 19, depending on the province. That is lower than in U.S. states that have embraced legalization. Advocates argue that putting the limit at 21 would encourage a black market and drive youths into the hands of criminals. But some health experts have worried that the lower age will encourage use of a substance that can have long-term consequences on still maturing brains. Conservative senators remained staunchly opposed to legalization. We're going to have all those involved in illegal marijuana peddling right now becoming large corporation. Conservative Sen. Leo Housakos said. When you normalize the use of marijuana and you're a young person and you had certain reservations because of the simple fact that it was illegal, there's, I believe, a propensity to have somebody be more inclined to use it, ____. Find complete AP marijuana coverage here, http://appnews.com/tag/legal marijuana. Copyright 2018 The Associated Press. All rights reserved. This material may not be published, broadcast, written or redistributed.